Today we have another 5-day challenge. So you guys know I've been doing these 5-day challenges pretty often, and I do feel like this is something that you guys really enjoy to watch. So I am going to be continuing to do 5-day challenges on pre-existing palettes that I have in my collection that I know a lot of you guys would like to know the tea. So what I do in these videos is I use a palette for 5 days straight to give it to you guys straight to let you know exactly my thoughts on the palettes. I put myself through different types of days. It could be days that I have to wear something very casual. It could be a day that I have to dress up really nice, and I forced myself to use the palette to kind of really see its range. So today we are going to be going after the Biba palette. So this is the Natasha Denona Biba. This is a very popular palette from her. I feel like a lot of people do really enjoy this. So this palette right here is not a cheap palette. So it's $129 US. Yes, it's a beautiful palette, but it is expensive. So today what I'm going to be doing is using this palette for 5 days straight to give it to you guys straight and tell you exactly what I think about the Natasha Denona Biba. So if you guys are excited, or if you are new, don't forget to go ahead and hit subscribe, join the family. Let's get into day number 1 right now. Today we're going to do a smoky eye with Biba, and I want to do something a little bit on the more dramatic side because I have to film 3 videos. 2 videos, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to film 3 today. So I want to have something that's going to last pretty long, but I don't know if I want to go for like a dark blackish gray smoky eye. I actually see like right here, isn't that like a xenon vibe right there? Like if you look at these 3 right here, it gives me xenon vibes. All right, so instead of going that direction, I think what I'm going to do is start with this rayon color right here. No, I think I'm going to put, okay, so let's put Seed on. Let's put Seed on. I'm going to put another color on top of Seed. That's a really pretty brown. I didn't even realize how pretty that was. Let's go back into Seed. Just kind of smoke that on. Nice. Okay, so let's grab Rayon. Just dab that on top. Very cool. I want to go into some of the lighter colors. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, let's go into Pasha right on top. And then I'm going to grab into Buff. Bringing that on the lower lash line too. I'm going to grab into Monroe. Add that in the center. Then I'm going to grab into Seed one more time. Bring that on the lower lash line. With Buff. This is looking to be a really pretty brown smoky eye. Let me put on some liner, mascara, and I'll show you guys the final look, but I think this is going to be really pretty. All right, and here we go. Here is the final look. So basically smoky eye. I think it came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way that it came out. My lip color is actually Cam from Makeup by Mario, and it's mixed with the Rare Beauty lip liner in Lively. I use the Rare Beauty mascara, and the palette that I keep on using for my face for the blush is the Natasha Denona Cheek Duo. The cheek and blush palette that just released, and I'm really obsessed with that lately. But yeah, I'm really loving the look. It's exactly what I was going for today. So successful day. The only thing I will tell you is that when I was doing the smoky eye, there is a color tone inside of my smoky eyes that I like to do that I feel like this one goes a little bit on the redder side, and I like to do a little bit more neutral. Like almost if there was like a midi size nude palette, I think that that might be more ideal for like what I like to do with smoky eyes. But anyways, actually I think the Glam palette gives me more. So maybe it's more cool tones that I need with my smoky eyes mixture. And even though this one does have, like I feel like it goes more in a redder direction, if you guys can see what I'm saying. More reddish. So it wasn't really exactly what I envisioned, but close enough. So I'm happy. Either way, the formula was good, everything worked nice, and I'm happy with the look. I'll see you guys in the next day. Good morning, guys. So today's 5-day challenge, I am playing with Biba. So here's the Biba palette. This is the eye look. Very pretty, and this is my day look. It's pretty. I like it. It's very neutral and fun, and a lot of Biba looks are probably gonna look like this. But what I did was, how do we hold this? This is what I did. I used this all in the crease, and I blended it all the way up to my eyebrow. Can't you see my face? I blended it up to my eyebrow. Then I grabbed this color Monroe. I put it right here in the front and just dabbed there. And then I blended out with Cocoa on the outer V. And that's how I kind of did this. So it's kind of like, it's like a very natural, but it still has a little pizzazz. I added the KVD brown liner, Rare Beauty mascara. My lipstick is Sammy from Natasha Denona. And now I gotta go do my hair. I've gotta spray my little white hairs that are coming out here. How nice is that? But yeah, so I gotta go do my hair and get dressed because I have to go to a dermatologist appointment. So today is a relaxed day, but I will see you guys in the next day. We'll do some fun looks with Biba as well. Right, so here we go. We are on to another day using Biba. And today, what do I wanna do with my eyes? I think I'm gonna start off with the color called Pasha, or should I go with Seed? I think let's start with Seed and then we'll move into Pasha. I'm gonna put that on the lower lash. That. And then I'm gonna grab Pasha, it's right on top. I'm gonna blend that into it. Then I'm gonna grab Prairie, put it right on top. Blend that together. I think what I'm gonna do is grab a little bit more of Pasha. A little bit of Spot on the outer V. Then I'm gonna grab, which color? Let's grab some Rustic and let's put it here. That. I think I'm gonna grab a little bit of this color called Tone. Put that on the lower lash line. Bringing Prairie again to blend. Then I'm gonna grab the color called Spot one more time. It actually works really good as a black. I think it's like a gray, but it's really good. It's actually deeper than I thought it was going to. I went a little ham on that black. It wasn't as dark as I wanted it to be. I actually wanted it to be a little lighter, but it's okay. We'll blend it out. That looks kind of cool. I like the way this look is coming together. All right, let me put some liner, mascara, and lipstick, and I'll show you guys the final look. All right, and here we go. This is the final look, and what do you guys think? I think it came out really, really cute. I really, really like the way this eye look came out. I do feel, though, like there's something with this palette, like I like it a lot, but I feel like a lot of the looks have like this similarity to themselves. I don't know, but anyways, I'm still playing with it. I'll give you guys my final thoughts at the end of the video, but right now I'm like, I like it, I really do. I'm just wondering, like, how different is this really from some of the other Natasha Denona palettes that I have? Like, I know the colors are different, but I feel like the looks, I could create them with some of my other palettes. So that's the only hurdle I'm having with this particular palette. All right, guys, 5-day challenge. Today is, look at my hair. It's like such a mess right now, but whatever. So the eye look, we are on to Biba. And can you even see anything? I did such a light look, but basically just playing with the mattes because I wanted to do a darker lip today. So it's just like a very light wash of color, and I just put it all over the lids. And then what I did was I smoked out, okay, I smoked out the outer V and added a little bit of definition with Freckle. So that's kind of what I did. And then I got my Natasha Denona brown liner and I did a small little line and smudged it on the outer edge. Rare Beauty mascara, and my lipstick is a combination of, and it's in this one, it's like the reddish one, so it's called the Red Dual-Ended Liner. And then I mixed it in with Ginger Malt, which is a color from Bite Beauty, and it's kind of like a brownish tone. So I kind of changed it to like a little reddish brown, but it's a cool look. it'll look good when I have everything finished with my earrings and my outfit for the day. But yeah, so I like the eye look. It's a very natural, very light, neutral look. And I think that Biba like can give you like that type of look if you want to go with really neutral eyes. You kind of see a little bit better here because there's a little bit less sun, but it does like a really pretty like accentuation, but it's not too much. So okay, I like the look. All right guys, 5-day challenge, let's keep on going. If you can tell, I am sick again. Yes, Lexi is getting sick like every other week. Apparently when they start kindergarten, colds come back to the house all the time, and this year it's excessive, I have to admit. And then everything I catch from her goes straight to my sinuses. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play with the grays, just because I feel like that's what we're missing, like to see what the grays could do. So we're gonna try to come out with a pretty look with this. I typically don't like the way gray looks on me, so I don't know if this is gonna be a disaster or not, but I'll try to do something wearable, but still playing with grays. It is so ugly outside. Like today is just like a weird day. It's ugly, it's rainy, and I'm literally sitting here drinking orange juice because I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I need like all the vitamin C in the world. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this gray color and put that on the lid. I don't really have a plan. I should have planned something out since I don't really love the way I look in gray. But I think I'm gonna do like an elongated eye because I typically like to do that, and I think that'll be the way that I'll like a gray look. So I'm just gonna place it here on the outer V. I'm gonna bring whatever is left over in the inner corner, but I'm gonna try to leave it mostly on the outer portion. The weather is horrible outside. It's so terrible. I have so many videos that I have to film today. Okay, I'm gonna grab, let's grab this color here called Tor. Just kidding. I'm gonna put that on the outer V. I think what we'll do is we'll kind of like smoke it. Like we'll start with this one, and then as I get closer to the V, I'll add in the deeper one. Oh, ooh, I like the way this looks. That looks pretty. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the color called Shine and Monroe. I'm gonna mix them together, and I'm gonna put that in the inner portion. I'm gonna grab a little bit of Buff, which is this creamy color, and I'm gonna put it on top, and then I'm gonna go back in with the Shine color just because I just wanna kind of blend this a little better before I put that metallic on top. So let's just blend the Shine into the grays. I'll grab a little bit of Monroe. And I love the way my complexion came out today. I actually decided to use only Charlotte Tilbury today. So I'm using the Flawless Filter, her Beautiful Skin Foundation, and her Cream Contour Bronzer. And I literally love it. I think the look, like, I don't know, I look very youthful today. So I'm thinking that might be a new go-to for me. I'm going to keep playing with it, but I haven't used her Flawless Filter in a while, and I kind of like the way it looks. Let's add a little bit more deepness with Spot. Just a little bit on the outer V. That was a lot darker than I thought it would be, but I'm going to blend it. Let's blend it. That looks really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to grab a little bit of 4. Just gonna blend with Tusk, which is a skin color one. I don't want too much. I think I'm gonna go in with a black liner too. That looks so cute. Okay, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna put on liner, mascara, lips, and let's see what the final result is. All right, and here is the final look, and I love it. You know, like, I feel like it's so weird. This is like the colors I was staying away from because I really don't like gray, but I'm kind of obsessed with this look. So I don't know if it's that it's giving me Natasha Denona Glam Palette vibes or whatnot, but I think it is. But I really, really like this. I feel like feel like I could create this with the Glam palette, you know, so like it's not like it's super original to the Biba, but I do think it's really, really pretty. Lip combination today is Nude Romance from Charlotte Tilbury with a Catrice gloss, which is actually kind of interesting. I got this in PR. I think it was at the beginning of the year. It was actually, it's Essence, just kidding. It was an Essence gloss. They're called the Lip Shines, and this is really, really pretty. It's super shiny. For my liner, I have the KVD liquid liner on the top, and then also the pencil liner on the waterline, Rare Beauty mascara, and this is the look. So yeah, I like it. All right, so here we go. This is my final verdict on this palette. I do think that the palette was actually really consistent. It worked really, really nice. Every single look that I came out with came out good. It was decent. One thing that I feel like I lacked from this palette, like I don't really feel like I ever created a look that I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I don't mean because it didn't have color. I don't mean because, you know, it wasn't like the most extravagant look in the world, because I don't typically feel like I need extravagant looks in order to create something that I'm like, wow, I'm in love with. I actually like to use browns a lot, and I create a lot of brown looks that I really am obsessed with. But I have to say, every single look that I created with this, I have been okay with. Like, they were good. They just, none of them wowed me, right? But the formula is definitely there. What I think it is the color tones in here. I typically don't like to reach for yellowy based colors on my skin tone. I have a yellow undertone to my skin, so I have a warm tone. So when I use like these yellowies, I almost feel like they don't look as good. So I have to stick into the peach tones, and the peach tones worked a little bit better, but because a lot of the colors in here are a little bit darker, when I would mix them together, I feel like it kind of like washed out in the eye, and I needed something a little bit brighter to like really pop the look, and I feel like it was lacking that. Now, do I think the looks came out good? Yes. And I think that this is a nice everyday palette. Like, I do think a lot of people will enjoy it. And of course, you do have a little variation here because you go in the gray direction, which is different. But I have to say, like, do I feel like for $129, if you own a other Natasha Denona palette, you can't create this? No. I actually would have to say that not identical. If you have a palette like this one, which is the Natasha Denona Metropolis that she released, I believe this was even cheaper. This palette right here gives you similar looks. Like, it's not identical. Like, I'm not saying that these are dupes for each other. But when you start to play with colors, you can kind of start to notice how colors can look very similar on the lids. And I have to say that a lot of times when I created looks with this palette, I had almost the same outcome to the Biba. Like, they were really pretty looks. I enjoyed the way they looked, but it wasn't like in love with any of the looks that I created really with Metropolis either. Here's another palette that I do feel like creates a very similar color story, and that's this one. This is the Makeup by Mario palette. If you guys can see, these are very, very similar. And for some reason, this one, I come out with prettier looks than Biba. Now, Biba even gives me the metallics, that this palette has absolutely no metallics in it. But for some reason, this color story, I don't know why, because they are very, very similar. There must be like an undertone difference. I create prettier looks using this one than I did with Biba. So I feel like for the $129 price tag, in my opinion, I would reach for this palette more often and then just jump into another one of like my Natasha Denona palettes for a metallic topper, because I don't usually use like more than one metallic on my lid at a time. So if I do an entire matte look with this, I could jump into this one and just grab this color right here. And some would say, well, why don't you just use this palette on its own? I don't know. I just don't feel like the mattes in here are as good as these, not quality-wise, color-wise. Like, this color looks better on my skin tone. So even though I do really enjoy the Biba palette, and I do think that I created really, really beautiful looks and they looked great on, it's just not my colorway. I even feel like if I were to do anything with browns, I actually like the way this palette works better on me, which is the gold palette. I typically don't use this mustardy shade when I use the gold palette. I stick into the neutral taupes and the browns, and this looks really, really nice on my skin tone. So I do like to use this palette more when it comes to browns. I feel like Biba was something that I was hoping would be a little bit more oomph. I actually think if Natasha Denona were to release a MIDI, M-I-D-I, nude palette where she used like browns, not as cool tone, but definitely not too warm. I think that that range would probably be a lot better for my skin tone, and I probably would love like a midi nude palette from Natasha with browns and those type of colors in it. This was like almost there for me, just not exactly what I typically would reach for when it comes to like brownish, taupish colors for the lid. So that's just obviously my perspective on it, but that I think has to do more with like my skin tone color than it even has to do with like the palette. There's probably lots of you guys out there that love the Biba, and I do know the Biba is a very, 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 very popular palette. So don't get me wrong, definitely quality wise, it's beautiful. I just personally think that there are better options. There are better options. So that's where I'm going to leave this video. And don't forget to leave your comments down below, especially with this palette for your friends, so that people kind of get an idea of what you're also thinking about it. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.